and we'll finish as a group. So I move to end debate. The RNC, they're at their last legs with us, and they're just not going to tolerate it anymore. And if this party, goes to pieces, I honestly believe that they're going to disband the party like they did before, and they just will not recognize the Virgin Islands Republican Party for a long time. So once again, I urge members to vote yes.
There's a motion by Mr. Ackley to close debate. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
There's been a motion that's been seconded to close debate. All those in favor of closing debate will say aye.
Aye.
No.
All those opposed will say nay.
No.
In the opinion of the chair, the motion carries. Debate is closed.
I move to
now before the committee. The question now before the committee.
overrule the chair.
The question now before the committee.
On the floor.
The question now before the committee. If the gentleman has an objection, he will properly state what his objection is under the proper procedures and rules before the party. Merely saying objection is not in order. Does the gentleman have a valid objection?
I have
no
objection.
But you have to let everyone speak.
Can you let me speak first?
Okay. Mr. Williams, you have now correctly stated it. What would be the gentleman's point of order?
My point of order is, how are we closing debate on something that we members have so much questions about? Is this a republic or is this a dictatorship?
So Mr. Williams, that's not a valid point of order. A point of order is raised to address violations of the rules. There was a motion made by Mr. Ackley to close debate. The motion was seconded by Ms. Bonthron. The question now before the committee is voting on the motion to close debate. There was a vote. The ayes have already voted. The nays have not been called.
I request the yeas and nays.
We are in the process of calling the yeas and nays, Mr. Williams. So the yeas have already voted. Would the nays like to say nay?
Nay. Request the yeas and nays. Roll call vote.
In the opinion of the chair, the motion to end debate has carried clearly by a majority vote. The question now before the committee is adoption of Mr. Ackley's motion that the proposed rules of the Republican Party in the Virgin Islands be the rules and bylaws of the Republican Party in the Virgin Islands. All those in favor in adopting the rules as presented will indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
No.
All those opposed will indicate by saying nay.
Nay.
In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The rules are adopted.
No, they don't.
Mr. Ackley,
If this moves forward,
Mr. Ackley
this is officially the end of the Republican Party in the Virgin Islands.
Mr. Ackley is recognized.
There is no
Mr.
way
Ackley is
that the
recognized.
ayes have it, and we need to stop this right now.
Mr. Ackley is recognized.
Right now.
Mr. Ackley is recognized.
John Candidator right
Lennox,
now.
but why are you not allowing anybody else to speak? Like, what's up?
Mr. Ackley is recognized.
This is ludicrous.
Mr. Ackley, you have
of the chair, the ayes have it. Are we serious right now?
No,
The ayes, the chair has it.
Mr. Williams is not recognized. The gentleman will suspend. Mr. Ackley has the floor. Mr. Ackley.
Point of inquiry when you get a minute. Point of inquiry.
The gentle lady will state what her inquiry is.
Yes, Yes, thank you for the opportunity aside of the chair having the floor. This is Harriet Mercer. What my question is and concern, my inquiry, I'm looking at the rules we just received, and we did have a cancellation of this meeting, and now we got the rules. It says RNC approved, and it's in a dark green print. I'm sure many of you have seen that. What I'm concerned about is I'm not seeing anything, and my inquiry is not an indictment to anyone. My inquiry is whether or not how can we have proof that the RNC approved these rules that I'm looking at tonight? That's what I need to know. I see nothing. Excuse me.
The gentle lady's inquiry is not a validly stated inquiry. A point of inquiry is not an opportunity to engage in a discussion on the underlying motion. So the gentle lady's point of inquiry is invalid. Mr.
Okay,
Ackley, you have the floor.
Let me ask this, please, Mr. Lennox. How should I ask my question, please?
It is not the role of the chair to advise a member what the rules and procedures are of the proceedings. Mr.
And that's my
Ackley
point.
has the
That's
floor.
why we vote nay. That's my point.
The
Thank you.
gentle lady is within her rights to vote nay. Mr. Ackley, you have the floor.
Point of information, Mr. Lennox.
The gentleman is recognized for a point of information. Will you please state the point of information?
In order to conduct business, is it your opinion that 2 members from St. Croix need to be present and 2 members from St. Thomas District needs to be present?
The gentleman is asking, I believe, about what defines a quorum. For purposes of the rules, the chair, in consultation with the secretary, by virtue of the record roll call vote, has determined that a quorum exists as per the standing rules of order that are in effect for this meeting. Mr. Ackley has the floor. Mr. Ackley.
And this is the problem. You know, it always boils down to
Point of information.
And point of observation.
If you ask a question, okay, I give you the floor, you give me the floor. Okay? I don't want people shouting on top of each other. Okay? This has got to quit, and it's not going to be tolerated.
To remind members would be asked not to engage in personalities in their debate, discussions, points of order, or other interactions in the meeting tonight. If Mr. Ackley is willing to yield the floor, he's presently recognized, it's within his rights to yield the floor to another member. However, excuse me, Ms. Mercer, any member that is being yielded to would be politely reminded that their comments must be addressed through the chair and not to another member. Mr. Ackley, would you like to yield the floor to somebody?
Right. Answer me the question.
Point of observation.
Ms. Mercer, there's no such thing as a point of observation.
But
You're
I
not
gotta say
recognized,
something.
Mr. Ackley.
Thank you, but I'll say something.
Ms. Mercer,
Thank you.
the gentle lady will suspend. Mr. Ackley.
Let's talk about these rules for a second. I got the floor. We've been trying to do this for a year and a half. You know, and it's really a sad day when we've discussed them, we are within the rights of the Republican Party, and I am telling you, the Republican Party has had enough of the Virgin Islands. And
Will
we
the
went through these
gentleman
rules.
yield?
We've gone through these rules. There is nothing objectionable in the rules. The problem we have is that there's been 20, 30, 40 different versions of the rules. And even in the last week, working with the RNC back and forth, we even came across things that we missed. And there's nothing perfect. And it wasn't until last night, after 4 attorneys, myself, Dennis Lennox, and Andrea, that finally Andrea noticed that we had 2 Section 12s. So nothing is perfect. The problem is, you people trying to vote no, okay, you're killing the party. We need to move forward.
Will the gentleman yield?
Go ahead. I'll give you the floor.
So,
Mr. Williams.
So this is my question. You and I had a conversation about these said rules. And I spoke to you and told you that members were uncomfortable with the rules and they wanted amendments. Now, the problem that we're having here is a total breakdown. One is a breakdown of trust. Let me tell you why. We spoke about getting the correspondence from the RNC to myself. I haven't received them. I'm not sure if the National Committee woman has received them. Up to now, from the correspondence from the RNC has not hit my inbox. So that's the first issue. Now, the secretary sent out a note stating that we will adopt these rules and then change them again to include the amendments that were proposed by someone. How is that possible? How are we going to approve rules and then go back and try to amend them without them going back to the RNC?
Can I be recognized after Mr. Williams?
If Mr. Eckley is willing to yield to you, Ms. King.
Oh, hold on a second. I'm the chair, okay? You're the committee man. Correct? Writing the rules and going over the rules was done at the highest level of the company. CEO to legal staff of the RNC. Do you have a problem with that?
The RNC is there to make sure that we are playing by the rules. However, if the members of this committee ask for amendments that they feel are necessary, and it was not just one member, it was a slew of members who asked for amendments.
You've had a year and a half.
It doesn't matter if they have a year and a half and trying to ramrod. Clearly, we're not interested in governing this party in a fair way. I'm not.
Excuse me, gentlemen, the chair would remind members not to engage in personalities and to direct their remarks through the chair and not directly to each other. Mr. Williams, you're recognized. Mr. Eckley has reclaimed his time.
I haven't targeted anybody. I am saying to you that clearly we're not interested in playing by the rules, because if the members clearly the nays outvote the yeas. And in the opinion of the chair, the yeas have it. How is that possible? If we want to be fair and transparent, how is that possible? Explain that to me.
Mr. Eckley, you're reclaiming your time.
Can Mr.